The other day I said I'd be talking about scouting some more, but apparently the Lord didn't want me talking about scouting today. Now, he didn't have to send a hurricane in to stop me from doing it, but he did. The remains of Hurricane Sally, they're blowing out of here right now. So we've had a pretty windy, wet week this week. And I'm kind of stuck inside. So I said, okay, this would be a great time to get my hunting gear out and just, work on it and get things ready. Season's right around the corner. And I was like, well, a lot of you probably would enjoy just talking about hunting gear, because let's face it, it's fun talking about hunting gear. The problem was, as I thought about gear and what to say and all that good stuff, I kept going into circles, and I kept coming back to the exact same thing. Hunting's not about gear, hunting's about skills. Okay, and it's about fundamentals. Okay, what's the best hunting rifle? Well, if you don't have good shooting fundamentals, then it really doesn't matter. Okay, it doesn't matter how good a rifle is, it can't make up for poor shooting fundamentals. And if you have really good shooting fundamentals, then it doesn't matter what rifle's in your hands. You're going to be deadly. That's skills, fundamentals. That's what hunting's about. It's not about gear. And keep this in mind. Deer don't run from you because they're scared of your gun. Deer run from you because you're a human. You're the most dangerous predator on the planet. And with the right set of skills, you can take down anything that walks this earth with a sharp pointed stick. Our ancestors have done it forever. Bow hunters are still doing it. It's about the skills, okay? And professional sports, athletes. Take the greatest athletes, any sport, any era, and they all have one thing in common. They mastered the fundamentals of their sport. And I don't care how many endorsement contracts they signed, we all know their shoes aren't what made them great. And any interview with any of them ever, listen to those interviews. I don't care if you go back to Bobby Jones golf in the 1930s or Michael Jordan in the 1980s or Tiger Woods, not that many years ago. When asked what makes them great, they all had the same answer. It might be worded differently, but it's still the same answer. And every one of them say the same thing. It's about the fundamentals. And that's why the best, they're out there every day working on the fundamentals. And it's the same way for a master craftsman or artist. And it's the same thing for a hunter. It's about the fundamentals. Okay, deer hunting. What are the fundamentals of deer hunting? First, I'd say, knowing deer. What do they do? What are they doing? And I'm talking about deer. This will put any animal in here. It applies to anything. But since I'm getting ready for deer season, okay, first fundamental, what do deer do? Just knowing about deer. Second fundamental, being able to scout, being able to recognize, where they're doing it at. All right. Third, all right, and then the next three, this is all to do with detection. Okay, you know what deer are doing, you know where they're doing it at. Now you got to get close enough to them without them knowing you're there. Okay, so third, fundamental of deer hunting, scent, understanding scent, wind and wind currents, thermals, all that good stuff. Fourth, sound. Deer can only smell you in one direction, and that's if he's downwind of you. They can hear 360 degrees. And fifth, sight. Okay, well, if you know what deer are doing, you know where they're at, and you've gotten really close to them without them knowing you're there, the only thing left is shooting fundamentals. And I don't care what weapon you're using. This is rifle, shotgun, muzzleloader, bow, crossbow, spear, and attila. It doesn't matter. You've got to master the fundamentals, the shooting fundamentals of whatever your weapon is. Okay, what's after that? Seventh, that would be finding your deer and retrieving it. And any of us that have gotten deer a long ways away from the truck, we know how much fun that is getting a deer out. But that's part of it. Hunting's not about killing. Hunting's about an animal providing meat so that you and yours can live. Right, so you got to be able to get a deer out and get it home. You got to be able to track a wounded deer, follow a blood trail. There's a lot to that. And then finally, eighth, you've got to develop your instincts. You can call it intuition, but I'm going to call it instincts, because this is something humans have been doing for as long as there have been humans, and we do have instincts about this stuff. And great hunters, they trust their instincts as much as they do reason. They rely on both, and it's being able to use both that makes them great hunters. That's just part of it. Deer hunting's not a science, it's an art. All right, well, those are the fundamentals. Those are the things you just have to keep pounding away and keep working on and just, every day. That's how you get good at deer hunting. And as far as gear, well, once you really, really get on those fundamentals, then you start thinking about your gear. How is your gear going to help you with those fundamentals? Okay, you get some nice new camouflage so that the deer don't see you. Well, if it's noisy material, now the deer hear you, you really hadn't accomplished much. Okay, so when I say, it's got to help you with those fundamentals, it's got to help you with all of them. You have to constantly keep them all in mind. And once you get good at all of those fundamentals, okay, that's when you get really, really good at killing deer. And you will start to look at equipment differently once you start thinking about it like that. And what got me on this, I was flipping through a sales catalog the other day, and we'll just say I wasn't impressed with anything I seen in it. All right, the stuff I saw, it was designed not for hunting, but to sell to hunters. And it was designed to be sold to people that aren't working on their fundamentals or don't have good fundamentals. Okay, deer scent attractants. If you've got good fundamentals, why do you need a scent attractant? Okay, if you know where deer are at, you know where they're going to be, you know point A to point B, you just got to be somewhere in between. Do you really need a scent attractant? I mean, there's 3 or 4 quality oak trees over there dropping acorns. That's your scent attractant. All right, but if you're not scouting, if you're not in the woods, if you don't know deer, and you're not aware of the time of year and all that good stuff, you're not going to know, okay, right now at this particular time I need to be under these oaks. And these fundamentals, I mean, there's no shortcuts on this and this work, and how much work you want to put into the fundamentals, that's on you. Noise. I know a guy that in the preseason, he'll go in, he'll take a rake and he'll rake back leaves and create a bare path to a stand. And then every now and then he'll go in with a broom and clean it out, just, get the debris out that's falling in there. Okay, and that might sound a little extreme, and it might be. This guy's killed a lot of big deer. He's killed a lot of big deer on public land, all right, heavily pressured public land. And he's a great hunter. He worked hard on that fundamental of not making noise. And when he's on private land, he'll take a 2x10, he'll put it in the V of a tree, permanent stand, just so he doesn't make noise with the stand getting in the tree. I mean, he takes noise that serious. All right, well, you might not think it's worth taking that seriously, but when you see the deer he's killed, Okay, and in our area, there aren't that many big deer. Okay, I'm in the southeast. We're famous for a lot of small deer. For him to kill the quality deer he's killed in this area, it's impressive. Okay, and all of your great hunters, they're going to extremes on a lot of things, and almost all of them have something specific they're really good at. Maybe it's scent control. In this guy's case, it's noise. Okay, they all have something they're really good at, but they have all of the fundamentals down. Okay, the guy I'm talking about with the noise, he still had to know where to put a stand. Okay, so he still had to know about deer and what they're doing and where they're going. He still had to go scouting. He still had to not be seen. He still had to not be smelt. He was just excellent at not being heard. Okay, and you can get as deep and work as hard as you want to on any of these fundamentals. But that's what it's about. It's not about the gear. The gear is, you select your gear based on what's going to help you with the fundamentals. And we're going to talk about gear later on. It's fun to talk about gear. Okay, but as far as gear, there's no perfect anything. It's just stuff to help you out and help you with those fundamentals. That's how you select your gear. All right, I really hope this helps some of you out this season, because it's almost here. And if you enjoyed this video, hey, give it a thumbs up. And if you want to see some future gear, shooting, hunting, whatever we end up doing, hit the subscribe button and notification bell. God bless. Have a good day.